this by hitting escape. Now, if we switch over to fill by clicking or using the X key on the keyboard, we can now add color to it. So let's add a little color. Well, the reason it didn't work is because we didn't actually select the object first. So now we're going to go back to the selection tool, which is the V key, then select it. Once we do that, you'll notice the fill is actually none because when we added fill, nothing was selected. So now we're going to choose a color, and when we do that, you'll see that the fill now is in the fill is now the center of the object with the color that we put in. So if we go to preview mode, Shift W, you can see we have a small black outline around a light blue rectangle. If we go back to stroke, make sure we have the object selected, we can add weight to it, and you can see by clicking off that the outline is now thicker, and so we have a blue rectangle with a nice thick black outline. Highlight it again, make sure it's selected, go back down to 1, and we'll go back to color. So let's say you create a color using the CMYK scale and you really like it. What you're going to do now is go over to this menu, select it, a new window pops up. Go down to click add to swatches. Once you do this, the color will be added to your swatches. Now let's click on swatches. What swatches are they're pre-made colors that are already there for you to use. So we have none, registration paper, black, you have a light blue, a pink, yellow, red, green, blue, and at the very bottom is the swatch that we actually just made. The nice thing about swatches is that whenever you're working within a specific document and you create a swatch, you can save it and keep reopening it whenever you're in this document. So let's say you're working on this project, you're creating a poster, you make this color that you really like and you want to keep using it. Well, if you save it to your swatches, you're able to continue to use it as long as you're staying in this document. The downside is that whenever you create a new document, a new project, your swatches will revert back to the original ones from the light blue all the way down to the dark blue. The good news is if you look, you have a CMYK scale at the bottom that shows you the exact number for how to create the color. And so you can go back and create your color in your new document. You can also create a new swatch by coming to this menu, clicking on it, and click New Color Swatch. You'll see the CMYK, which stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. This slider scale pops up. You can actually create and choose the different colors in here to create a new swatch. Once you're done with it, you're going to click Add. And then it'll add to the bottom of the swatches panel, and you click Done. Because our object was selected, when you clicked Add, that object now became that color. If you want to change it back, make sure the object's selected, and then click on the color you want it to be. That brings us to gradient. You can start gradient by clicking right here, but how I like to use gradient is like to open up the panels, and I actually like to use swatches with the gradient. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the swatches, hold it down with the mouse, and move it up to the next panel. Once I do that, you're able to use swatches and gradient together. What a gradient is, it's when one color fades into another color. So right now it's just black and white. So it's white fading into black with gray in the middle. What you can do is using the swatches, you can take a color. So I'm going to take my wife's favorite color, select it, then I'm going to click with it with the mouse, and then drag. You can see there's a plus sign next to my cursor, which is now a fist. When I release the mouse, that color will be added to it. Now you have a little bit of white, blue, and black. They're all merged into each other. If I wanted to add a different color, so I can do yellow, do the same thing. Click yellow, click and hold it, and then I'm going to drag it down and add it. Now, because I didn't add it to the very end, I now have two different colors in there, but that's okay. If you wanted to, you can just click and drag off and it'll erase the two different colors.